You turn on your tap and water just appears. Clean, pressurized, ready to drink, wash, and cook with, as if by magic. But what if I told you that every drop you use travels through miles of hidden tunnels, tanks, and pipes? Part of a vast underground network that few people have ever seen, but everyone depends on? Because beneath every city in the world, from New York to Tokyo, lies one of humanity's greatest engineering feats, the invisible water system that keeps modern life flowing. Before we dive into this unseen world beneath your feet, make sure to like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because after this, you'll never take a glass of water for granted again. Let's start at the beginning, not at the faucet, but where the journey actually begins, the source. Most cities get their water from lakes, rivers, or deep underground aquifers. But the process of getting that water to you, clean, reliable, and constant, is a symphony of engineering and design. Take New York City, for example. Its water starts in the Catskill Mountains, more than 100 miles away. Massive reservoirs capture rain and snowmelt, feeding an intricate network of aqueducts that deliver over 1 billion gallons of water every single day. That's right, before it even reaches your tap, your water may have traveled longer than your daily commute. And that journey begins in structures older and more complex than most people realize. Some of these aqueducts are huge tunnels, drilled deep through rock, with water flowing purely by gravity. Others are steel pipes running beneath highways and rivers, carrying thousands of gallons a second. They're buried, pressurized, and often decades, even centuries are old. Beneath the streets, a labyrinth of valves, pumps, and meters quietly manages this endless movement of water. It's one of those things that's so invisible, most people never stop to think. Someone has to control all this. That's where the city's water control centers come in. Operators sit in control rooms surrounded by screens showing real-time data, pressure levels, flow rates, chemical balances, even temperature. Sensors across the city constantly send information back to these hubs, allowing engineers to adjust systems instantly. It's like an airport control tower, but for water. And that's just the delivery side. Because before the water even reaches those pipes, it has to go through a purification process, one that's both scientific and surprisingly elegant. Every drop that enters your tap has likely been filtered through sand, carbon, and membranes, treated with chemicals like chlorine or ozone to kill bacteria, and sometimes adjusted with fluoride for dental health. The goal? To make sure it's clean enough to drink every single day without you ever worrying about it. It's a system that quietly prevents disease, supports industry, and keeps cities alive, and most of us barely notice it exists. But if clean water delivery is half the story, the other half is something we try not to think about: where it goes after we use it. Because every flush, every shower, every sink drain is part of another network. The sewer system, an equally massive but far dirtier mirror of the clean water grid. Just like the supply system, sewers form a vast underground maze. Tunnels and pipes sloping carefully downward, using gravity to carry wastewater away from homes and businesses. In older cities, these tunnels can be enormous, big enough to drive a truck through, and some have been operating for more than a century. All that used water eventually flows to wastewater treatment plants, usually on the edges of cities where it's cleaned before being released back into the environment. There, solids settle out, bacteria break down organic matter, and advanced filtration removes chemicals. Finally, clean, or nearly clean, water is discharged into rivers or oceans. In some cities, that water is even cycled back into reservoirs to start the journey all over again. It's the ultimate loop. Water leaves your home dirty, and after a few hours in the hands of machines and microbes, it's ready to become someone else's glass of water. But this loop only works because of one thing: pressure. Maintaining the perfect balance of pressure across thousands of miles of pipes is one of the most delicate and critical jobs in urban engineering. Too little pressure, and water won't reach high floors in tall buildings. Too much, and pipes can burst, flooding streets or damaging infrastructure. To handle this, cities use pump stations and water towers. Those strange towers you sometimes see rising above skylines. They're not just landmarks, they're essential balancing tools. The elevated tanks store water and use gravity to maintain steady pressure, ensuring that even during power outages or peak demand, taps don't run dry. In some cities, entire mountain reservoirs serve the same purpose, using elevation instead of energy. It's one of the quietest, most efficient designs ever invented. But the hidden water system beneath every city isn't just a marvel of engineering. It's a living, breathing organism. Pipes corrode, valves wear out, tree roots invade joints. Small leaks can waste thousands of gallons a day before anyone notices. And as cities age, so do their systems. In fact, in many developed countries, much of the underground water infrastructure was built more than 50 to 100 years ago. Some pipes are still made of cast iron or even wood, installed before modern plumbing standards existed. Replacing or repairing these buried networks is enormously expensive. Digging up roads, rerouting traffic, coordinating utilities. It's like performing open-heart surgery on a living city. That's why many water departments now rely on smart sensors and acoustic monitoring to detect leaks before they turn into disasters. Tiny microphones listen for the telltale hiss of escaping water, and digital twins, virtual replicas of entire water systems, allow engineers to simulate and predict problems in real time. This digital transformation is quietly changing how cities manage their most essential resource. Some cities are even experimenting with AI-driven water management, adjusting flows automatically based on usage data, weather, and population patterns. The goal? To make water systems more resilient, efficient, and sustainable, especially as climate change brings new challenges. Because here's the thing, the hidden water system beneath our cities isn't invincible. Droughts reduce supply. Rising sea levels can flood treatment plants. Extreme weather overwhelms sewer systems, causing overflows that spill untreated waste into rivers. And as populations grow, demand for water skyrockets. That means the system that once seemed invisible is now under pressure, literally and figuratively, like never before. But the good news? Engineers are adapting. Around the world, cities are building smart water grids, recycling wastewater into irrigation, capturing rainwater in underground tanks, and upgrading pipes to withstand future demand. Some are even turning old sewers into renewable energy sources, using the heat from wastewater to warm buildings. It's innovation driven by necessity, proof that even the most hidden systems can evolve. Yet the most incredible part of this story isn't the technology. It's the fact that it all happens silently, every day, beneath our feet. The next time you fill a glass, take a shower, or watch rain swirl into a drain, remember, there's an entire city within the city. A parallel world of tunnels, pumps, and pipes, all working together so seamlessly that you barely notice it exists. And that might be the greatest engineering success of all, when something so complex, so vital, becomes so invisible that we forget it's even there. Because if it stopped working, even for a single day, we'd all notice instantly. So maybe the next time you turn that handle and hear the rush of water, take a moment to appreciate the miracle beneath your feet, the hidden water system that quietly makes modern life possible. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed exploring the invisible world beneath our cities, hit that like button, subscribe for more fascinating deep dives, and share this video with someone who loves learning how the everyday world really works. Because now you know, beneath every street, every home, and every tap, there's an unseen system flowing endlessly, keeping civilization alive.